board up and going. Find your favorite thing for signaling when you've done things, or find some new ones because that was quite entertaining um, last week. So tonight we're continuing moving forward with the sacral chakra or sacral chakra. I'm never really quite sure which way you pronounce that. Journey that we started at the beginning of the week. Um, and like last week, we explored some themes around community voice. No, actually, this week we did community, didn't we? Yes, sorry, this week we did expression and creativity. And hopefully, over the past few days, since the notes we made and the meditations on Monday, you may have noticed a pattern or two, or brought things to mind, or had a little bit more awareness around certain things connected with the sacral chakra. Certain reactions, certain emotional moments that maybe you went, oh, I, yeah, I'm more aware of that, or I can see a pattern here. So tonight, we're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to be perfect. We're simply working on awareness because that's where real change starts. So our sacral chakra, as we know, is deeply connected to emotional flow, our relational dynamics, creativity, authenticity, how we connect to others, but also that relationship with ourselves and our inner self. So tonight is about beginning to notice, where do I stop flowing naturally? Where do I become reactive? Where do I stop being authentic? So we've all got pens and paper. And again, we're just going for the first things. It's about being, oh, look, it's about wishing I had a cup of tea and one appearing. Thank you, Fee. Um, it's about just honesty with ourselves. I was watching a training thing, even though I'm now doing the music thing, I'm still kind of doing hypnosis and NLP training and stuff. And I was watching a course, was it yesterday for a bit? I did a bit. And the guy there was talking about people on courses and counseling courses, and he had one teacher who was just like really good at what they did. And there had been a few people in the group who were kind of, they were giving answers to things, but this tutor kind of, in my head, he kind of, I can imagine him raising an eyebrow with some of the responses. And through demonstrating the things he was teaching, um, what originally were statements about where these people were at in their life, it it bypassed those statements which weren't honest and actually brought up the stuff that was really going on for them. And whenever we're working on ourselves, whenever we're working on ourselves, we don't help ourselves by kind of trying to sugarcoat a situation or telling ourselves something's not a certain way. Because if we're still going, oh, it's not that bad, when really we really want something to change, we're putting off that change. No one ever needs to see your answers, and we're not going to. I'm not going to, like I said last week, not going to be kind of asking you to um, share those answers. They are just for you. Um, However, at the end of the meditation, if something popped into your head or you had a certain experience with the meditation, you think, oh, I'd like to share that with people, then by all means, there's always that space at the end. So let's just reflect over the last few days, just with pen and paper ready, just ponder the last few days. Has anything kind of triggered me? Has anything come up emotionally? Might be something a little unexpected. And by this, it can be like something someone said and you've had an emotional reaction to it. It can just as easily be that you were watching something or reading something and suddenly you're like, oh, blooming heck, why am I crying? Or why am I feeling this way? So it doesn't have to just be kind of relational. It can literally be something you've watched that struck a chord, or something that's lingered and stayed with you in your mind afterwards that created a bit of an emotional charge. Um, so have a think about that. And if nothing immediately comes to mind, that's okay. Just spend a few days thinking, a few days, no, said I was tired, a few moments thinking through the past couple of days, kind of conversations, interactions, moments at work. I say things you've read, things you've heard, things you've watched, and you've reacted a bit more emotionally than you would normally. And just write down anything that comes to mind. And then when you've done that, send forth whatever mad icons you wish to send forth to let me know. Light the cup of tea there, Anne. That's a good one. It actually matches mine, look, literally. Well, no, it hasn't got the writing on it, but if I hold it that way, it does. Cake. I've got a Chelsea bun waiting for when I finish this. Party poppers. Oh, that's a new one. I like that. Nice bluebird. Was it a robin with a, but it looks like a robin. It's got a red chest, so we'll say it's a robin. Fabulous. So now we've got something. Let's look at how we reacted. So a few things to ponder. And again, just jotting down anything that seems important or relevant to this. Did I internalize? So when I had that reaction, did I internalize it? Did I respond outwardly to it? Internalizing might be it's been playing around in your mind. Responding outwardly might be that you, I don't know, were listening to a piece of music and for no reason whatsoever just started to cry. That's an outward response. Did I shut down? Did I become defensive or irritated? Did I withdraw a little bit? And also, how long did it take for you to realize that you'd had that emotional response? Was it immediately? Was it 10 minutes later, 3 hours later, the next day? Maybe just thinking now and looking back, you've gone, oh, yeah. So just jot down anything you've got there. And again, once you've once you've got some things down, you can send for, oh, we've got the moon. Don't. So that's like go to sleep, right? Sunflower, nice. Might have to find something so I'm just so I'm not missed out. Homemade tea loaf at the moment. A horse, nice. I haven't seen that one before either. I won't find something just yet because I'll lose momentum today. That's not a good idea. So we've all got something down for that. So how did it actually feel? And when I say that, I don't mean the story, the whatever it was that happened. I mean, what was the feeling there? Was it anger, embarrassment, rejection, frustration, shame, disappointment, a sense of not being heard and not being valued? Once you've got that, just let me know. And again, if you don't get anything straight away or it's not quite coming for you, just make a note of the question and then you can come back to it and ponder it later on in the week. You might go, you know what, I've just felt great for the last few days. Um, in which case, but then, you know, oh my God, that one, Fiona, reminds me of, I used to have an album which was there's a penguin and a rabbit, and it was songs of murder, mystery, and mayhem. And it had things like the James Bond theme tune on it and Peter Gunn. And there was a track called Red-Eyed Rats. And it was quite eerie And then it ended up with just this sound of like lots of rats making noise and then getting more noise and more now. It was a bizarre album. I don't know if you can get a copy of it anymore, but um, and so finally for this part, if your emotional reaction had a newspaper headline, what would it say? Something like Birdie Song causes flood of tears, or Agadoo triggers embarrassing moment memory of when you were dancing to it. I don't know. But if give that emotion a headline. Once you've got a headline, just let me know. Got a dolphin this time. We're liking the dolphin. Oh, a cat and a thumbs up. I'm going to send something else. You like that one. That was actually better than I thought it would be. Um, Fabulous. We've all got a headline. So moving forward, we're looking for role and pattern, which is going that little bit deeper. Um, and it's that, it's important. Very often we can become emotionally triggered, which can connect us to a role we unconsciously play. And different versions of ourselves, different masks we wear. Sometimes a situation clashes with the identity we think we're carrying, or sometimes um, a response from somebody can cause an emotional reaction that very much clashes with our identity, how we see ourselves. Um, I remember way back, I'd been invited to a gathering up in the hills outside of Oswestry to go and do a sweat lodge and to go and basically then sit around a fire, play music, and drink some beer. And partly, someone I was kind of friends who organised it said, "Oh, we'll introduce you to someone. They're looking for somebody to put some music to their songwriting." And I was like, "Oh yeah, great." I was 19, something like that, and I was up there kind of, yay, I'm here. Did the sweat lodge. That was an experience. November the 5th, it was, because I remember seeing the fireworks going off in Oswestry. And the wind was coming sideways, the rain was coming down, and you don't wear much in a sweat lodge. And stepping outside onto a Welsh mountainside in a gale and rain, after that is certainly, it makes you know you're alive. And so later on, we sat around this fire and we are all chatting away and talking, get introduced to this person. We chat for a bit, and then I don't I don't speak so much for the rest of the night. Karen doing the thing. Didn't hear from them ages, and I always thought I was kind of like Mr. Humble. Turns out I wasn't. Um, and they were like, um, when we did finally get together, they were like, well, I didn't get in touch because I've never met such an egotistical musician in my life. And I was horrified, genuinely horrified at that. Because I hadn't thought that was part of my identity. And I really didn't like the fact that I was coming over that way. So that was a huge emotional thing, which still governs how I approach certain things in life and how I think about things and stuff, um, to this day. And I know it does. Not necessarily in a bad way. it's probably in a good way, but it's yeah. So, that's a moment where the world out there reflects our identity to us, and the emotional reaction is like, oh my God, am I real? It's like the emotional equivalent of when you hear yourself singing on a tape on a recording for the first time. Yeah, exactly. And we're just like, oh, don't like that. Or you watch yourself on a video and go, do I really move like that? Um, and it's that same feedback, which can cause quite an emotional response. And these emotional responses aren't always terrible. They might be powerful. It doesn't mean they're bad. So there's different versions of us. There's the version of us when we're going about our daily stuff. There's the version of us with family and friends. There's our online personas. Some people, when you meet them after having chatted to them or knowing them online, turn out to be quite different, or different certainly than you thought. There's that version of us that likes trying to keep the peace, or that version of us that likes to be liked, that version of us that tries to stay safe. So just ask yourself, in that moment that we've been focusing on, what role was I playing? Was I trying to please someone, to control, to avoid conflict, to be accepted? Was I trying to appear strong or to not be seen, trying to be validated? Was I playing the I'm just being me role? Um, have a think. What role were you playing in that moment? Once you've got something, just send something flying up into the air. I'm going to join in because I quite like doing that. Mhm. Oh, and all about the love. Got a frog there and a thumbs up. I'm going to drop. I've got an octopus. Don't know why. And now it's just floating there in the corner and it won't go away. Oh, now it has. Fabulous. We've all got something for that. So another question. Was I being authentic in that moment? True to myself? Or was I reacting from a place of protection or habit, conditioning, or even emotional survival? Was I being authentic? Was I being fully and truly me? Or was I coming from a slightly different place? Tortoise, that's his. Another sunflower. Oh, and a rose. Practically got a garden this time. A garden inhabited by tortoises and dragons. How sweet. Um, so, going to move that little bit deeper again into this process. And this is where we begin asking why. Not intellectually, not philosophically, just honestly. So, looking at the situation, why did that affect me so much? Why did it have that response? And then once you've got something, ask the question again. Why? And then keep asking why. And when we keep asking why, we're gently following a thread that goes deeper and deeper. We're not judging the responses. We're not forcing responses. So, for example, if it's a situation where you felt ignored, well, why? Because I didn't feel valued. Why? Because I wanted approval. Why can be a bit of a, you can always say because. I think because actually is a nicer word than why. So because I wanted approval. Because, well, because part of me still fears rejection. See, so each time we ask that why, it opens up a little bit more. Or because, to be honest, if I was working with someone, I'd be going because. Um, we're not after dramatic. We're not trying to create dramatic answers. Simply just following that emotional thread, and eventually, we quite often arrive at something very simple: a belief, a fear, bit of a wound, a pattern, a need. And when you go no deeper, when there's nowhere else for the answer to go, just pause. So follow that question of why. You might have done it because that was quite a long rambling from me. Uh, but just keep going down. Why? If I use that example of when I was about 19, why did I react that way? Well, because I didn't think that I behaved that way. Why? Well, because I thought I was somebody that everyone just got on with and everyone liked. So why did you write that way? Well, because suddenly somebody wasn't, and I didn't like the idea that I hadn't got on with somebody and somebody hadn't liked me. Why did? Well, maybe I needed to be liked. Maybe I feel good in life when. So you see, each time I ask that why, it strips something away, and I can keep going down and down. We all got something. We all done that, or yeah. Nice. Anne's getting artistic hearts. Fiona's got a ghost. Is that guitars? That's ace. Um, okay. So if we've all stripped down our why, and it might be that later on today or over the next few days, you discover some other layers behind that, and that's okay. It doesn't all have to happen in the session. So we're going that one step level now. We're going level deeper. We're heading into kind of looking for the wisdom in this. And this is the real important part. This is why we're doing it. Because once we really reach that deeper layer, we stop asking, we're not even asking, we've never really been asking, what's wrong with me? But we're asking, once we get to this level, what is this trying to teach me? Because the wisdom's not the trigger itself. The wisdom is that pattern, belief that's becoming visible, that teaching that comes from the awareness of the pattern or the awareness of the belief at the heart of it. Once we discover that awareness, it gives us choice. And once the pattern or a pattern or belief becomes visible, then you can begin changing how you move through it. You can change the pattern, you can get rid of the pattern, find a better pattern. Or if it doesn't serve you really anymore, you go, actually, I don't need that pattern. And because you're now aware of it, next time it crops up, that awareness allows you to go, hang on a minute, I don't want to react like that. So by getting down to the wisdom level, what is this pattern or belief? What's it trying to reveal to me? What what is that situation trying to teach me? So have a think about that. And then once you've got something, the next question is, if this happens again, how would I like to respond differently? And you can come up with a couple of three, four, even five possibilities for that. How would I like to react differently? And the wisdom is the teaching, and then the change comes from the fact that if you've got three different ways to react, suddenly you're not just going to notice the situation when it happens, but your mind's going to go, well, I could do this, but I've got this, this, and this now. So let's try one of the others. Cool. So we all got something? Yeah. What are they? They look like dandelion heads.
Ferris wheels.
Oh, nice. It's an elephant. Nice. It's funny because sometimes it does the whole screen. Sometimes it'll just send it up the one corner, and other times it. You got something there, Anne? It's that time of year. Yes, wonderful. Fabulous. So that's our kind of questions and work part of this evening kind of coming to an end. Um, you may want to go back through it and go back over it. Sometimes that can help with this way of working. Sometimes just by opening up that little bit of awareness and shining a light on that one little aspect of our lives can start to allow those choices and options to start to emerge and help us make that change. And sometimes it happens so naturally you don't even realize it until you go, hang on a minute. I think I remember Anna once actually saying, about a situation where she would normally have been a bit like and angry in it and was just actually really, do you know what? I'm not going to go there. Um, yeah, I thought there was. Um, that was after we'd been doing some meditation work of some sort, obviously, because we've done a lot of that, but there was a certain part, I can't remember what it was now. Um, so let's just take a moment and just sit with the answers that we've discovered, not with any judgment. We don't have to rush into changing anything immediately. You might look at it and go, well, actually, I'm happy that that's how I respond with that. In which case, fine. But at least you now have a more awareness of an aspect of yourself. Awareness itself is movement. So just by being aware, it can cause things to shift. And over the rest of this week, just be aware, notice where emotional charge appears, where you feel that bit of an emotional spike, where certain roles emerge, where your natural flow seems to stop or get disrupted, and where you feel like you're stepping away from your authenticity into a role, not being true to yourself. Because sacral chakra is not about becoming somebody else. It's about becoming more honest, more aware, more emotionally present, and more fully yourself. And often the moment we truly see the pattern, something already begins to loosen and to shift. So let's put our pens and papers down, get into the meditation part of this evening. So I'll allow you to have a fidget, get comfortable. If you want to knock your cameras off, do whatever you need to do to be ready. And the same as Monday night, want to keep the breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And actually just allow that to continue for a little while. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allowing your awareness to settle fully into the body. Feeling, being aware of that breath just moving through you. Steady, connected, present. That's right. You may notice as the breath deepens that you can allow yourself to arrive fully here. And so, whether you're sitting or lying down, I want you to bring your feet together, just allowing the ankles, the insides of the feet to touch. And in doing so, just be aware of that place where your feet have contact with the ground or whatever you're sitting or lying upon. I appreciate if you're sat there in full lotus, what I've just asked you to do is a little trickier, but I don't think any of us are doing that. And as you become aware of the feet and the ankles touching, and that place where they touch the ground beneath you, being aware of that point of connection, that point of contact, that point of presence. Just begin to gently squeeze the left foot into the right foot, tightening and tensing, creating a tension within the legs. Just allow the awareness to gather there. Just at that place, that little bit of pressure between the feet. The face remains soft, the shoulders relax. The breath still flowing naturally, just in through the nose, out through the mouth. All that awareness just in that place of pressure, just a gentle pressure. And bring all of your awareness now, just gently moving it down from the head, down through the body, into the sacral chakra, into the sacral chakra, into the hara, the dantian, that place just below the navel. Your emotional center, the place of flow, of connection and creativity, place of relationships and feeling. And in a moment, we'll take a deep in-breath and a nice full exhale into the nose, out through the mouth. And as you release, just allow the legs to soften. Feel the energy moving. Just taking that deep breath in. And as you breathe out, Just allowing that pressure to release from the legs, allowing the legs to relax, being aware of that sense of energy moving, circulating. Just awakening, simply notice what you feel. There may be warmth or a vibration, there might be movement, it might be stillness, just whatever is there. So this time we're going to engage the whole of the legs, and I'm just going to ask you to tense the legs up, pressing them together, squeezing tightly, feeling that pressure. Bringing your awareness again into that sacral point. Still with that relaxed breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So you're basically creating tension in the whole lower half of your body. Holding it. And then in a moment, we'll take that deep breath in. As we breathe out, we release all that tension again. So breathing in. Breathing out slowly through the mouth and just releasing the tension in the legs, letting them relax. Just feeling the flow returning. The body softening and opening up again. And just quietly within, just make this statement to yourself. My awareness is growing clearer. My emotional body is becoming more honest. My energy is flowing more freely. That's right. Just still with that nice relaxed breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. I want you to just gently bring your elbows into your ribs. Curl your hands into fists and just draw the belly slightly inwards, creating a tension through the core of the body. The abdomen, the ribs, the center. Shoulders rolling back. Heart open. Just breathe steadily in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now inhale deeply. As you exhale, just release that tension and relax everything, letting it soften. Allowing the energy to circulate naturally through the body. Just keep that nice relaxed in through the nose, out through the mouth breath going as the body relaxes. We continue to work with our sacral chakra. Chakra of water, emotion, movement, connection, desire, relationship, creativity, and authenticity. This is the place where emotional patterns often live, where reactions begin, where we either flow with life or resist it. So as you're lying or sitting there now, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just gently start scanning through the body from the top of their head down. And notice if there's any areas that feel blocked. They might feel tight or heavy or slightly resistant, or it might even feel like there's a little store of emotion there, or just check through for it. No judgment, just becoming aware of it. And if you notice somewhere like that, just simply breathe into it. On your in-breath, imagine the air going into that area of the body, expanding it out, giving it space, giving it awareness. And as you breathe out, just letting the tension or that obstacle just slowly dissolve. Just take a moment to do that. And so now bring your awareness to that silver grounding cord that we've been picturing and thinking about, that silver cord running from above the head, allowing it to move down through the body, the spine, the pelvis, down into the earth below you. If you're lying down to do this, you may just want to, in your mind, imagine that you're standing up. Just think about it that way. Or you might just see it running all the way through you, and then when it gets to your feet, just dropping down into the earth. Be aware of that silver cord reaching deep, all the way deep down into the core of the earth. Grounded, stable and connected. So now, from the bottoms of the feet, just imagine, think about roots extending downwards, down into the earth, wrapping around the grounding core of the earth, moving deep into the earth beneath you. Strong, alive, anchoring you fully into this moment. That's right. And from above the head, see the crown gently opening up, either as a emerging ball of light or a halo, and just allowing, just imagining, thinking about however you do that now. Light, white light beginning to flow down through the crown, through the body, washing through the head, the throat, the chest, the stomach, the pelvis, the legs, the feet. Breathing in the light, exhaling the tension and allowing release. Just allow this light to clear resistance, to wash away old emotional residue, to shift stagnation, to slowly and comfortably dissolve any walls or protective armor that maybe you've put up in the past but actually is no longer needed. Just allowing you, as that light floods the body, to let go of anything that no longer needs to be held on to. Good. So now bring your awareness fully down into your sacral chakra just below the navel, the emotional waters within you. And from deep within the earth, become aware of an orange current, a flowing energy beginning to rise upward, like water moving through a channel, washing through the feet, the legs, the hips, the lower abdomen. This is movement, flow, feeling, creativity, life force. And now we begin to open up fully to that flow, flowing between our toes, clearing the pathway, moving upward into the bend, the arch of the foot, washing through the ankles, moving towards the inner knees, cleansing, clearing, restoring movement. That light flows up towards the hips, through the pelvic bowl, through the lower abdomen, circling around the sacral center. And as this happens, you may begin to notice emotions, memories, sensations, images, or simply movement within the body. Allow whatever arises to move naturally. And that channel, that flow of energy continues to move upwards through the belly, the spine, the heart, the throat, the brow, out through the crown, through the top of the head. And then as it leaves, it returns again, downwards once more like a wave, like tides, washing through the system again, drawing all the way up and back. One continuous flow, and as it continues to flow, allow yourself to reflect gently. Where in life have I stopped flowing naturally? Where do I hold tension around connection, creativity, intimacy, expression, or authenticity? Nothing to force, no analyzing, just noticing, just allowing awareness. And now allow that brilliant orange light of the sacral chakra to begin filling the entire body, moving through the emotional body, bringing fluidity, movement, honesty, balance, breathing it in deeply, exhaling softly. allowing yourself to flow with emotion rather than resist it, to witness emotion rather than becoming trapped by it, to move with life rather than against it. And for a few moments now, simply remain breathing, feeling, and allow the energy to continue its work naturally within you. And when you are ready now to discover more flow with life, to let go and allow more of your authentic you to step forward with balance and harmony, fluidity. When you're ready to do that and to feel good, just slowly start returning back, allowing that imagery, those thoughts to fade, becoming once again more aware of the room round about you, the sounds round about you, sense of the air in the room, the sound of my voice. As you begin to return back, ready to carry those feelings, that energy out into the world with you. Maybe you wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, coming back all the way. And when you're really ready to carry those awarenesses, those understandings, and new discovered wisdom out with you, then you can open your eyes, feel good, ready to embrace the rest of the week. Be here now. And then when you're fully back, just let me know by putting your cameras on, or and always switches a microphone on. So there we go.